Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the realm of bizarre news. I'm your host, Dr. Franklin Ruehl, and let's start off with a trivia question. Let me extricate here from its paper prison. The question: what is the technical term for a group of alligators? Multiple choice, inverse alphabetical order. Is that a rafter, gang, congregation, or bloat? Now the prize, the only prize, one pat on the back you'll have to administer to yourself. Heck of a lot better than a slap on the belly with a wet trout. Now, speaking of gators, may I ask if you ever saw the 1959 sci-fi film The Alligator People on television? It involved the scientist George McCready injecting war veterans with alligator extract to cure their wounds. And at first it worked, but then over time they became transmogrified into alligator humans, i.e. alligator people. Now fast forward 50 years, and researchers in Louisiana have announced that alligator blood actually is very powerful in fighting both viruses and bacteria. For example, it can kill the superbug that causes the deadly disease Marfa. They also believe it will help in treating diabetic ulcers and infections associated with burns. So the question is, why did it take scientists 50 years to realize what the producers of that movie knew back in 1959? Alligators are our friends. Ow! I said, oh my finger. Okay, now for that trivia question again. What do we call a group of gators? Is that a rafter, gang, congregation, or bloat? Is that your answer, a bloat? No, it's a congregation. For the record, you have a rafter of turkeys, gang of elk, and bloat of hippos. Yes. Now here is a coffin. This pertains to the oddest grave in the world. It's down in Dusseldorf, Germany. And the vicar there is inviting parishioners to lie in an open grave, not a coffin, just an open grave itself, for 5 to 10 minutes to overcome their fears of death and conquer anxieties. And some who have done it say they feel resurrected. Others traumatized. So the question is, would you consider grave therapy to fight your stresses in life? Now let's open up the vault of strange deaths here. We have the question, what is an odd chain of events? This pertains to a man down in South Carolina in 1995 who received a donor heart. Then surprisingly, he married the widow of the donor. Fast forward 12 years ago to last week, and the man shot himself to death with a gun, of course. Turns out that the donor also committed suicide by shooting himself to death. And we ask if this is an example of what's called trait transfer, a paranormal phenomenon in which an individual receiving a donor organ assumes some of the traits of that individual. And in this case, perhaps a suicidal tendency, a possibility for your consideration. Now here is an old wool scarf, and this reminds me of a recent case from the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. They had on exhibit a dead embalmed lamb encased in glass with formaldehyde. Well, the formaldehyde started to leak, and the fetidity was so strong that patrons ran out of the museum. They had to close it down for over an hour because of that stinking formaldehyde. My question: if embalmed mummies don't need to be encased in formaldehyde, why should an embalmed lamb? Down with stinking formaldehyde. Now, until next time, may the power of the cosmos be with you. Yes, yes, yes. And down with stinking formaldehyde.